audience. Welcome to Too Many Queens in the Kitchen. My name is Luna Slipstream, and we are hosting a cooking show. And we are lucky today to have some cheesemongers. And to explain what that is, I would like to introduce them. First, I would like to introduce Christian. Please come in.
Woo!
Christian, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
You're looking fucking gorgeous.
Thank you.
Goddamn. Right?
We also have Noel. Please come over here, Noel.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
All right, so to start us off, I just want to ask quick, what is cheese?
Well, essentially what cheese...
And remember to look in the lens.
Right, this one.
Fucking delicious.
What is cheese?
Cheese is fucking amazing.
For those who don't know.
So essentially what cheese is you take milk and you expel the whey in various methods, and then you take curd, which is essentially milk after the whey, make it into a nice loaf, and then use one of various methods to then age it, and then you really just kind of let the bacterias and the proteins to break down and really kind of do nature's work to make this beautiful fucking thing.
Awesome. Let's hear it for cheese,
Cheese!
Yes.
All right, so Noel, will you explain what is a cheesemonger?
So a cheesemonger is someone that has dedicated an absurd amount of their life into studying and tasting and learning about cheese. I have studied cheese, now for like 8 years on and off. Hey, Christian, what are you at? 3 years now? 4 years?
A little over 3 years, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although Christian does know more about the scientifics of cheese because he's someone that works with an affinus, which is a whole other thing to get into, someone that literally spends their entire life aging and perfecting the ripeness of cheese. So the scientific methods of cheese, he's going to be the one to get you there. The yumminess of cheese, I think I can help with too.
Awesome. All right, now this is a show where local chefs teach drag queens. Have you guys ever met drag queens before?
Not yet.
Not much of experience. You have experience
Yeah,
with
a
drag
few times.
queens?
I was very intoxicated. Probably
Nice.
said some inappropriate things.
Awesome.
But
All
I
right, well, I'm
was
going to bring
jealous.
you guys over here if you would be so kind, and I would like to introduce our queens. Obviously,
All
me,
right.
Luna Slipstream. Could we please have Sammee St. James to the stage? We have Sammee. How long have you been doing drag?
Oh, goodness. Almost 3 years, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's about how long you've been in Salt Lake. She
Yeah.
moved here from New York, started doing drag with me and Mike Rick.
Yep.
And then we also have Jude Wanders, everyone. Welcome, Jude. Because you get a nice lineup, everybody, with your bits to the counter.
Bits to the counter.
Bits to the bits, got it.
Yeah.
Bits to the bits of cheese.
All
I'll
right,
work
look
my
at us,
bits
happy
back.
family. All right, so what are we making today?
We're making mac and cheese.
Mac
Yeah.
This will be great because
Simple.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't taste it.
Oh.
and cheese. Nice.
So I'm
But
excited
she
to learn about
will.
cheese. But I will.
So you'll just have a
Absolutely.
real healthy number 2 later. Is that what happens? All right.
Solid.
Thanks,
So,
number 2.
for those who have never made mac and cheese from scratch before, where do we start?
So you want to start obviously by boiling some water for your pasta. That's the easy thing. Nobody needs to see us cook pasta, so I've already boiled the water right behind us. But we need to make a sauce of sorts, a cheese sauce to go in and blend it up with. There are a lot of different methods for mac and cheese. You can bake it, but it's not really necessary. If you make the right sauce for it, then you're good to go straight away with cooked pasta and a creamy, cheesy sauce.
Nice. The option of baking it later, covering it with cheese, whatever.
Yeah. You want to
Okay.
add some breadcrumbs, you want to do a little panko, you want to make it crispy on top, get it bubbly and
Ooh.
cheese porno-y.
Keep talking.
You can
Oh, yeah.
totally
No.
do it that way.
Wow.
For time's sake, we're not doing it that way this evening, but it will still be cheese porno-y.
Yeah, I was like, we can do that later.
Like
Nice.
Cheese to wait for the
porno.
cheese.
I'm gonna Google that.
So we've
Yeah.
covered the chefs, covered the queens, covered what we're making. What are we drinking?
Oh.
Whiskey.
That's some whiskey.
PBR.
Yes,
And
that is a
a
staple. So let's start with the
Just to get
shot,
us through.
please. Let's
Okay.
do that
Oh,
first,
yeah,
and
let's
then we'll
line
get
these fuckers
started.
up.
Oh no,
Yeah.
let me.
Get the
Let
party
me.
started.
Let's give me share a drink together because we're all family after this. Let's
Lunar,
dine
you
as a
taking
family.
Since this will be filming in November, I'll have one.
Just one.
Oh.
I've been doing sober October and I've been doing great.
Sober October can fuck right off.
I'm gonna have one.
You know what? If you want to be sober, live your life.
Amen.
We don't have to.
I don't want to be sober.
Mhm.
Okay, it's just a little one. It's just a little one. Don't
It's
be
just a wee
mad.
babby. Yeah, it's just a wee babby. L'chaim. To all,
L'chaim.
L'chaim, which in Yiddish means to life.
To life.
To life.
Salute.
L'chaim.
Life.
L'chaim.
Oh no.
We wore hats today.
Mm.
Let's do it.
Oh,
smell.
yeah, that's the sauce you put on the queens. Now
Yeah.
let's make cheese to put on the noodles.
All right,
Nice.
so I want the queens to do as much of the work as possible. So if you guys could instruct them, I will kind of step to
Can
the
I-
side.
I'll be your
wash
hands.
my hands?
Yeah.
Okay. So once your hands are washed, I would love it if somebody can cut down. So this is basic block cheddar. Even with like an artisanal mac and cheese, it's really good to have something that's going to be your filler cheese. Otherwise, it gets to be just expensive. So yeah, just shitty block cheddar. Still has a lot of flavor. It's going to give us the creaminess we need. Also, we'll be using heavy cream and we'll be using cream cheese. That's going to help us with the creamy silkiness that we want. But you can still call it artisan even though you're using shitty cream cheese. So if you can cut this into like 1-inch blocks for me, I'm gonna start heating up some heavy cream and butter in the skillet over here.
Can I open the cream cheese?
Yes. That can be cut down into little 1-inch blocks as well.
Ooh.
I guess we could share a cutting board. We shared everything else, right?
Wow. On live TV.
This isn't live.
The world
Don't worry
knows.
about it. It's undead TV.
Undead TV.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry yourself.
That's
Everything
what
is
I
fine.
needed. Ooh, I like that.
A butter
Look-
knife for cream cheese. Is
Look
that gonna
at
work?
how nice this nut is.
It's fresh from IKEA.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Oh my god, they just
Thank
really
you,
know how to do
IKEA,
that.
for the sponsorship.
They don't know they're sponsoring it yet. But
IE
they will.
sponsor us!
But they will. Wow, this is gonna be like a real show by the end of this. Like sponsors. Can we get
Christian,
jackets?
do you know about this butter that I'm using? Because I know this is some fancy ass butter that I'm using.
Well, it comes from French cows. They graze off of French grass, which actually, believe it or not, comes from French soil.
Do they wear French berets? Is everything
That
that's
is-
line French?
That's
They wear
only if they
German
want to.
berets the whole time.
Only if they want to. Got it. I
And they
love
want to
consent.
follow their own terroir.
I'm a fan of
Yeah.
consent. I love that. So as long as the French cows are into the wearing of a beret. Hooray.
French cows into the wearing.
All right, I have a question for our cheese people. What is cream cheese? How do they do that?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I've ever thought about that in my life. So share science.
They take cheese and they motherfucking cream it.
Fucking cream
I
it.
think
So
it's
this
the
is-
scientific breakdown.
I love that this is 3
Oh,
years of
that.
knowledge. I'm so ready.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I didn't get to the 4th year, so I think that's
No,
kind of.
you again still know more than me.
Okay,
I didn't know
yeah.
they creamed the cheese. I thought it was
Oh,
just
no, they motherfucking creamed it.
Yeah, see, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. They
Yeah,
motherfucking
no,
creamed
there's
it.
distinction.
I left out the motherfucking
I did it.
part.
Yeah,
That's-
never
well
leave
done.
out the motherfucking.
I usually leave that part out. That's the problem. Are we gonna put the motherfucking
Oh.
part into the
The motherfucking
motherfucking
pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Some motherfucking pasta.
so it's
Is-
motherfucking
is what
mac and cheese.
I don't
Sorry,
know
we're not making
what's
mac and cheese.
We're
today.
fucking some.
It's okay.
so
I'm gonna follow you.
I didn't say that. That's on you.
I don't know what's going on
But
over
like
here.
they
A lot of
deserve it, so
motherfuckers.
like get in there, Tiger.
Yeah.
Get in there, Tiger. I'm just here chopping cheese. That's all I'm doing.
Welcome to our cooking show. We know what we're doing.
Motherfucker.
There you go.
Done.
So I
feel like
think cream cheese is somewhere between what happens when, like, you press milk or butter and take away the whey. It's got to be some kind of in between there because it really isn't technically cheese, but it isn't cream either.
So for our lovely viewers, because I realize that we've probably all heard like of curds and whey, but I don't think everyone knows what whey is or what curds are. So if you guys have maybe an explanation for that,
Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
So essentially, you're getting this big vat of cream, and you're trying to concentrate the nutritional value of it. That was kind of the aim of making cheese. These people had to go, they had to travel a lot, so they had to have sustainable food. They would last them long. They would have to sustain long winters. So what they would do is that they would try to expel the parts that would spoil, which essentially would be
Not these parts. We're gonna be spoiled on these parts, but not eating the spoiled parts.
So essentially what they do is that they add live enzyme called rennet. And introducing the rennet, what that would do is that would kind of separate these chunks from the liquid. And then they would expel the liquid and pack in the chunks, and then you would get that real cheese. So curd essentially is just the chunks that you would get from that. Pretty good.
I'm kind of sad that Itsy Bitsy Spider didn't come down at some point during that, but that could have been
No,
she'll watch the video.
She'll watch the Itsy Bitsy Spider will be here.
She'll be here on the next one.
She's running late. It's okay.
All right. So what are you guys doing over here?
So we are just melting down the cream cheese with the butter.
And it looks fantastic, by the way.
I kind of gave the disclaimer that we were super winging it on this recipe, which I had the idea of making a roux. Although I don't really think it's necessary because we've got so much cheese that I don't think we're going to need that flour to keep it creamy.
And then for people who are gluten-free, you'll be fine.
Yes.
Everyone can enjoy this except for lactose intolerant people. Shot time. It's November. It's fine. Oh.
Yum.
Okay, so with the cream, you want to add it little by little, just to make sure that it doesn't scald. Keep your heat low. When you're making any kind of a cheese sauce, you really want to make sure anything involving cream, anything involving dairy, you want to make sure that you keep your heat real low, otherwise it'll scald and burn and taste like shit, and it might make you sick. So
Yeah, bacteria. I know that.
Proud of you. You're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
I swirl things.
That's swirly.
she's swirling so good over
Yeah,
here.
twirly swirly.
Yes.
At this point, I'm just being not to be a stereotype and gay, but also I'm being anal here. So making sure these are 1 inch. I didn't bring my 1 inch cheesing knife, which is embarrassing, really.
I mean,
I knew we were making mac and cheese, and I didn't bring my cheese measuring stick.
you didn't bring
Which
one
is shocking that you
forward.
guys don't have a cheese measuring stick. That's
Well, it's really part of the artistry is
Oh,
design,
he pulled the artistry.
I feel like
so fast. So
You know what,
fast.
this dish won't be artisanal.
Wow.
However,
I like a cheesemonger that fights back. I'm into that. I'm really about that.
All I'm saying is it doesn't take a lot of money to make a good mac and cheese. You don't have to have ridiculously expensive cheeses, although we're going to put one moderately priced cheese into this. Although it's a small amount, it's going to give it a lot of punch.
Can I be your cheese model? This is actually a dream of mine that I would love to fulfill right now.
I would love that.
The dream just started now, but I would love to fulfill it right now too. So, like,
Yes. What other cheeses? Tell us.
let me.
you want
Well,
a
that's
model?
Christian.
You want a model?
I would love to model your cheese. I wash my hands, so this is sanitary. So this cheese.
Okay,
this is
so-
a floppy guy.
Shake it a little bit more. Yeah, give it some action.
Everyone
there you
loves-
go. Yeah.
This is not a hard cheese. This is the time when being hard is it's not a problem.
It's
fine.
not what you
It's
want.
actually better if you're not hard for this scenario.
Smell it.
Is this for me as well?
Oh yeah, that smells.
What is it?
What's going on?
Well, that's my
We're not
promontory
too,
cheddar.
Okay.
You
yeah,
can
we're
use
not
that.
to this
You
cheese
can
yet.
use that.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
I'm
gonna go
modeling.
there.
Okay.
I need a moment.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
All
So
right.
what is this cheese?
Okay, so this is Taleggio. It's actually the second most popular cheese.
Nice to meet you, Taleggio.
Yes, yes.
Welcome to
Smell it.
Now the thing.
Oh no, I did.
Oh,
it's making it
I did.
six around it, yeah.
If you scratch your screen, you can smell.
Yeah, smell my fingers, audience.
It is.
It's not good.
It's funky.
It's
In fact, when I worked at a
Funky.
couple of restaurants, very fancy restaurants, I would have to work with Taleggio, and I would tell the chef, the Taleggio accidentally touched my skin. I have to go home.
You know, and what's funnier about that
And
is
shower.
no one warned me about that before this.
No,
But I've,
no,
I've
it's
committed
straight
at this
in.
point,
Yeah.
so
I didn't even wrap it.
and I love that. No, don't wrap it though. This is better if you don't wrap it. Get the full experience.
Yeah.
That doesn't leave any other.
No,
But you
This-
should wrap other things.
But this cheese specifically.
You
But
should
it's
wrap
fine.
other
Skin
things.
to rind, it's fine. It's fine.
Skin to rind is fine. But seriously, what's this cheese
So-
that I'm
Taleggio. So it's the second most popular cheese to come out of Italy. It's a soft ripened cow's milk cheese, but it's so good. But it's so
I
good.
imagine it's gonna taste fantastic because I've actually never had this cheese, but
Oh
like
my goodness.
I imagine like younger human than we are smelling this, and for some reason just continued, just went on and put that in their mouth. So I'm gonna do the same.
It honestly smells like junk after you jog for a little
That's
bit.
fantastic. For those of you that have innies instead of outies, don't imagine it. It's not worth it. It's just really nasty.
Also, don't ever let your innies get smelling that way because that shit's nasty.
We
Woo!
don't need to go back into the joke we were making off camera. Let's just not go there. Let's just not go there. It's not worth it. Yeah, so
I think I dropped the
fabulous
chunky-
Italian
Yep, I
cheese.
did.
No, fabulous
More
Italian
cheese.
cheese. It's out
5
of
second
Lombardy,
rule.
Italy.
It's okay. Ooh, it's Christian's
It's
house.
soft
I don't
ripened.
trust it.
So
No.
what actually makes Taleggio stink? You know, people always say, "Oh, that smells like feet. That stinky feet cheese."
Can confirm. Can confirm.
Uh,
Sticky
and
That's looking good.
the reason for that is that there's this bacteria
Starting to
that
get some
grows off
color.
of it
Not gonna lie,
that
this
gives
is
it
the
that
most
aroma,
I've
that
ever
gives it
worked
that
for
color
a meal.
of the
So,
rind, and it's called
I found
breadanomics.
myself in it.
And for any fermented food, you're going to find some level of breadanomices. You're going to find it in beer. You're going to find it in wine. You're going to find it in most cheeses. But when it's prominent, it makes things taste really funky. So when you get farmhouse ales, that's going to be kind of the leading factor. But breadanomices is the same bacteria that grows off of your fucking foot or other parts of your body, if you don't take care of them right, I'm sure, that makes it stink. So when people smell that and say, "Hey man, that's some locker room cheese,"
There's a reason it's reminiscent.
it's locker room cheese. Let's be honest, that's what it is.
Sure glad I smell like that now, huh?
Goddamn though, when you put that sneaky foot in your mouth though.
It is fantastic, I
Oh,
will say. Thank you for the first person who ate that. Thank you, Italians. You guys
And
are-
every
you guys
time
are great.
every
You
time
guys
I'm
are homies.
slamming on that cheese because I talk a lot of shit on Taleggio, they're like, try it on a grilled cheese sandwich with slices of fresh pear.
I love that there are
Yeah.
people who have
So
artisanal.
that's what people, that's what
really
sick
creamy.
bastards
But
do.
honestly, if you pair
Like
anything
working
with a
out,
pear, it's probably
Do you
really
know,
good.
It's been paired
It's
at
going
least.
to be apparent.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But I've never
Up-
touched
now-
pear. Apparently.
Let's find
that
out
what it
what's going on over there.
That's
Over-
that's
oh
the
my
whole
God.
magic behind
Over
the
where?
dish. So with a lot of things like this, for instance.
Tell the audience. Tell the
Yeah,
audience.
what's happening?
So
What's
I was
happening?
just explaining what the word risotto means because she over here been like, I'm sweating stirring this,
Do you want to trade
and
off?
No, this is the
I'm
most workout I've done in years. Come on.
and I asked her if she knew what risotto meant. So risotto is that classic Italian dish.
It's my specialty and I don't know
It
what
actually means to stir. So the magic behind that dish is to never walk away from it, never walk away from it, and never let it sit.
Nice.
Yeah. So
We should
and
do a
it's the
risotto
same-
because I would love to show
I'm
you my
down.
process.
Cute.
I've
Because
always-
I've honed it. I've got it my own way.
Let's
And there's
do
a huge
risotto.
debate.
I'll do my
There-
saffron
there's a
risotto with seared
huge-
duck breast.
Ooh.
What?
I got you.
Nice.
Oh my god.
We know
you
some
can't
hunters,
do this
so-
so close
Yes!
to me.
Actually, my nickname's Duck, and I'm not using these, so we could sear these
I'll
technically.
sear the
I like to say
I'm not
duck
saying
in
they'll
my
taste
text
good.
messages all the
But
time.
they'll certainly look pretty.
They'll do.
Yeah, I've
They
seen-
will do.
I've seen a really big debate with chefs about risotto and the stirring.
Right? It's so good.
How much you should stir. There's
Don't
chefs
walk
who say
away.
stir all the
Keep
time.
stirring all the
Now,
time.
however, a different perspective or a different idea
I've heard
is
this one.
to get it started. You toast it, obviously, and then you start to add. I always start with wine,
Yes.
a little bit,
Yes.
and then you start to add this warm or hot stock, which usually, depending on what you're making, is going to guide you on what you want to put into it.
Yes.
But if you are making a risotto that's going to be picked up later, like if you're making a large tray of it that you're going to pick up to order
Yeah.
at a restaurant,
To par
sometimes
cook?
you will par cook it, which doesn't involve as much like vigorous stirring because you don't want to bring out that starch until
The end.
it's in the pan.
Right.
So
And
for the-
then you just whip it and get it going, and it'll
So
be
I
a
think
little
that's
more
a
glossy.
fair point. So for restaurant service, to par cook would be to not stir as much, right?
Yeah, you want to take it to
Where-
about. I take it to about 70% of the way. Some people do 90, but then it can get mushy, and I do not want mushy risotto. I
I've
want
had
silky
shit risotto at restaurants in both ways.
Yeah.
I've had undercooked and I've had overcooked to where it tastes like savory oatmeal.
And you want it to be. I've had a chef tell me what's the texture of lava.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
even making risotto right now, though. So
I
what
know,
are we-
wondering
I
what
know.
to
I'm
say.
just saying.
I have
With
opinions
this
about
kind of
this
thing,
too.
when you're dealing with cheese
But
and
here-
cream, don't fucking walk away from it. Stir
Seriously,
it,
no,
stir
that's
it,
so
stir it.
real. Because your milk will curdle.
And
your
so
cheese
now
will
we have
fry.
nice color happening over here. I'll let you take a look.
It's
Yeah,
fan-
bring
it's
it
That
up.
was just cream cheese, a little bit of heavy cream.
Let's
Our
bring it up so they can
shitty
see it
cheddar.
on the
It's
camera.
kind of a peachy color
It
for our Utah viewers.
It almost looks
fry
like
sauce.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah, Utah viewers, fry sauce. Aren't you excited? Everyone else,
Aren't
it's like
you
a tan
excited?
peachy
I
color.
still haven't stopped stirring.
Yeah, she's
Right.
been
Get it back on the
fantastic.
heat.
Back
Wow.
on the heat, back on the heat.
Wow. Can we get a round of applause for Sammee St. James? Oh my God, Sammee St. James.
St. James.
Whomst are you, ma'am?
Sammy, not James.
Put that. Oh, I wish I'd have done that to the camera. I'm
Okay.
the worst. All right. What do you need done? Because this is noodles for anyone who's curious.
So I just
The
mixed,
noodles are here.
mixed a little bit of butter into those just to keep them from sticking while we're waiting for our cheesy delight to finish. And this literally is how easy it is. I mean, she's been stirring for 15 minutes now. I just added a little more heavy cream, a little more cream cheese because I'm worried that our mixture isn't going to go far enough. So these are nice, cheap ingredients that you can doctor in to make sure that you get the distance to coat all of your noodles.
All right, well, I would like to take this opportunity, since we are waiting for the sauce, to do a segment about drag. Because there is also, that is one of the elements of our show, is drag. So,
We did this.
the first thing I would like to do, actually, I'm going to take over the stirring.
Yeah,
I
because
can
I would like you
because
guys to
Sammy's
be
not been here.
crutch to counter.
Now,
And Christian, if you could scoot in a little
Oh,
bit.
please, yeah. of
don't
course.
let anyone fool you. Out of the duo that is Sammee and I, she is the looks
Me too.
and the brains.
Just gonna
I'm
position
so
you.
smart.
I'm just here to wear interesting clothes.
All right, so what I would like is for our chefs to ask our drag queens any questions they might have about drag.
Yeah,
Drag, as you
ruin
guys know,
this.
drag has picked up. RuPaul's Drag Race is a thing that has been very popular for so long, so many seasons. And local drag is booming. Local drag in Salt Lake is booming. So you guys know some stuff. Like, straight people are not as in the dark about the queer community as they used to be. You can't make a top and bottom joke anymore. Everybody knows what you're talking about. So I would like to get into it. So if you could please, you guys do your best job questioning. You guys do your best job answering. I'll stir.
Don't drill us.
Okay,
But, you know,
so I think one of my questions was already answered in the night, and that was, do women do drag as well?
I
And
do!
What does it mean to you? Is it a desire to have a different persona? I'm super interested in the entire community and just what it means to women.
For me, I like it as an over exaggeration of the characteristics of gender. So I like to over exaggerate some of the key elements because I have very much tits and ass, if you haven't noticed.
I'm sorry, you're the model, but can I just also be
Girl!
I'm just
DNA.
saying. So
you gotta flaunt it. Am I right?
So I like to experiment on mainly exaggerating some of those elements, as well as exaggerating some different elements that don't really go with the gender that people portray me as in general. So sometimes, my favorite look was a bearded lady, which was the fun.
That was such a
I've
good
ever
look.
done.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I loved that one. I did.
Mainly because it was a glitter beard, and I want it.
I mean,
every day
any
of my
beard
life.
on a woman someone who identifies as a woman, I'm already like,
I would love that.
yeah, well, we have makeup in the back. You could have a beard in literally 5 minutes.
It's true.
I'm just
I
saying.
can't grow one myself, but
So-
a glitter beard would be fucking
See,
fantastic.
I can give you a glitter beard.
And I would like to use this moment to talk about, the idea of a bio queen. If you don't know what a bio queen is, it
Yes.
is somebody who identifies as a female performing as a female. No, not necessarily. Am I wrong?
May
That's
I
a
interject?
bio queen.
So bio queen is someone who is born a woman, still identifies as a
Okay.
woman, but wants to do drag. Bio meaning born, bio queen, born a queen. And because originally drag was men impersonating women, because the drag king side of it did never really get any light, bio queen is kind of ridiculous in that sense, but at the same time, hyper feminizing something. Bio queen, already born feminine, continues to push the femininity. There's a lot of bio queens here that are fantastic.
And there's also bio kings. So you could,
Be a
as,
bio
I'm assuming cis man.
How dare we assume? Hi, I'm Jude. What are your pronouns and what's your gender?
I like women.
That's none of.
Nothing to do with
Did I miss that one out?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, you
so
did.
cute though.
God,
I like
that's
women, don't we all?
Sweetie, this is a perfect learning opportunity.
Let's
The
hurdle.
correct
Let's hurdle.
answer was, hi, what's your name?
Christian.
I-
I'm starting to see this now.
Am a man who identifies he, him. So you identify as man,
Yes.
he, him.
Boy
And then-
thing.
Me for asking for what his gender was. Rude as hell of me. I threw that in. If you knew that already, I'm sending you mental mac and cheese.
Ooh.
But basically now is
I'm
like
ready.
bio king, born a man, I'm assuming.
Is
Identifies as a
smell-o-vision
man,
yet?
bio king.
So
But
if you were to
smell-o-vision.
perform in a male persona, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
painting on a beard,
Yeah.
if you were to do a pirate look where you put on a big beard, that
Bio
could
king.
count as bio.
But also, can we do that real quick?
I
That's
volunteer
another-
as tribute.
Yes, actually both of us. Are the riggings, I don't know any pirate lingo. Okay. I don't know any pirate lingo. I wish I did.
All right, so you have
It's
added the
embarrassing.
sauce.
We're done.
Yeah, so that's
Mac and cheese is done.
The
I
mac
was
and
gonna
cheese
get
is
on
done.
another,
That's pretty easy.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Super easy.
All right, so before we wrap up, I would like to continue the Q&A. So do you have
Yes.
any questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Out of
so
this thing can make it look like a more
for
formal.
like the performance aspect though, when you guys are up there, you're doing your thing, and you're just fucking killing it.
You know me.
Sometimes
Yeah, oh
literally.
yeah, it's to assume that you fucking kill it,
Every time.
and then you hear the fucking crowd cheering.
Yeah.
And just throwing fucking flowers at you. How do you feel? Is it $1 million fucking bucks?
I mean, I'm gonna answer this one because Sammee answered the last one. But yeah, basically that. But like for me personally, I don't perform for the audience. Sometimes I do because that's why I'm on stage is because there are people there. But yeah, it's great because sometimes you go up there. Like for me, for instance, I use drag as an art. So if I go up there and I get the reaction that I want, like for instance, my last performance was commentary on feminine violence, but I got my heart ripped out on stage, and everyone was just dead silent. If people had laughed or cheered or anything like that, I would have.
Wasn't the same thing.
I would have like.
That's not where you're going at.
I'm sorry. Were you guys watching this? I literally just got my heart ripped out on stage. But at the same time, upcoming performances I'm doing, I have curated specifically so the audience does cheer. So when people are cheering, I'm excited as hell. And it's actually, the performance is great, but the after effect of a performance is even better because people come up to you and they go, I didn't know I wanted to do this before. Or for me, I personally don't identify as a woman. I'm genderqueer. I was born a woman. I feel personally comfortable sharing that, but not everyone needs to. Born a woman, but I identify genderqueer. But having people come up and be like, I didn't know women could do drag. I want to do drag now. That's actually way better to me. Or, a queer person coming up and be like, oh my God, like all I've seen is men dressing as women, seeing you do something that is something I've never seen before, that makes it so much more worth it than any performance. Like any validation from an audience, fantastic. Don't get me wrong, like tip me when you see me. I will always accept your money.
Every time.
This is it free.
This
We
is
make you
if
pay.
you want it.
Okay, well, I live with your fiance, so don't
Okay,
say
free
that
beer,
on
free
camera.
beer,
Free beer.
free beer.
Free beer. But yeah,
That's not
having
currency.
yes. Same, actually there's free beer here. Awesome. But yeah, having that validation from someone coming up to you and telling you how your performance affected them is way better than any audience cheering because it's so disconnected. But also, I recommend that everyone should try drag at one point in their time because at some point I thought I was a cis woman. Now I'm like, I don't really know, but the men's section is on sale, so it doesn't really matter. So everyone should have that moment of maybe you don't go on stage, maybe you go out with mascara one night and you've never put mascara on your life. Let's just say you went out with mascara and
Put
you.
mascara on before.
Ooh.
Oh, but let's say, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, that's
Let's say-
fantastic. I love that. Let's level up then. Let's say that you walk out with what would be considered a woman's blouse and
Never done that.
mascara, and you're living your life, and
Let's golden.
everyone's receiving you, and you feel the most you yourself. Maybe at that point you're just gonna realize that you just like wearing women's blouses.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Try it once. maybe you'll end up on a show someday cooking things that you can't eat but have been eating the whole time.
This is
I'll
a show
give it
this
away.
whole time?
We've been filmed! What? This is so embarrassing.
Oh
But now that
my
I'm on
God.
my cheese crate, try drag. There it is. Whatever drag means to you, try drag.
Yes.
Nice. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Will you guys please eat some of my mac and cheese?
Oh,
Let's
you
do
don't
a
even
sample.
have to
Put it
ask
in
that.
the middle here on the.
I will dive in face first.
I'll
Every time.
move the giant
Okay.
knife. Maybe
Christian, will you grab a towel and throw it down for me?
And, throw it down right here or right here?
On the counter.
We about to
Mac
throw
and
down?
cheese throwdown.
We about to throw down. I'm ready. I didn't bring my boxing gloves, but I'm ready.
I don't need no boxing gloves.
There you have it.
These are my boxing gloves. Let's do it.
All right. I want to do just a quick.
Pretty basic, but it's fucking
So for
delicious.
plating cream or for plating mac and cheese, you put it on a plate. And then
Well, this is a
eat
bowl.
it.
Sorry, let
You
me.
put it in a bowl.
Plateware.
Whatever
and
receptacle
If
you
you're
have.
smart, you put a fork in it.
Or, if you're like me.
You can put a fork in me.
All
Let's
right,
not-
let's get a nice shot of our cheesemongers and drag queens around this gorgeous creation. Is that an olive?
It is. It's a
Oh.
It's a few olives.
Mmm.
All right, let's try this and see what everybody has to say.
I'll go first. Then I can regret it
Honey, I'm
faster.
sorry I'm about to tear apart your butthole.
You know, that's actually.
last night.
Wow! That's the first time anyone's ever apologized for that, so thank you, first off.
Big
It's
moment.
gonna be way more pleasurable for me now.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Brought back
Yeah.
memories. All alone in the moonlight.
That was it.
Fantastic, obviously.
Totally worth it.
Bring a cheesemonger.
Pretty good?
Oh my god.
There's
That
a
was
lot of,
amazing.
there's a lot of flavor in
I
there.
almost didn't want to give that to you.
I'm
Here.
really fucking glad you did.
Spoiler alert,
Oh, it's so
more
good.
cheese for you.
Ah.
Get in there. Did you taste your
I did.
our creation?
I did.
On camera.
On
On
camera.
camera.
You just saw life.
Live
You-
in front of
you've
a
seen
studio
life.
audience. Wow, the funniest moment. Thank you.
All right, I would like to thank Sammee St. James.
Yay!
Round of applause for Sammee St. James.
Yeah.
Jude Wanders. We're so glad you wandered in here.
Yes.
And then
We have Noel.
Yay!
And we have Christian. And I'm Luna Slipstream, and
Luna!
let's eat some mac.
we're just gonna keep making these.
Yeah!
We're not done. You can't
You can
stop
look
us.
forward to. Apparently, like on YouTube, people are like, do stuff in the comments. We're not that far yet, but some I don't fucking know.
Click subscribe,
But,
push that button.
If you do want to learn how to make something and you comment, we will make that video. I also am going to be doing some shorts. I'm going to call them a moose bouche. And I hope your bouche is a moose. Because we are going to be doing small things. I'm going to teach you how to make obliques. I'm going to teach you how to hold your knife properly. I'm going to there's going to be little tiny episodes throughout. We'll do our big holiday episodes. We'll do stuff like this where we make a single dish. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you!
Hey, here we go.
We did it. We made a show.
We did it!
Covered in
Nice.
cheese. I'm okay with
And
it.
the energy is great. I'm so proud of you guys.
Oh, that was
Thank you.
fun.
Give me
Give
whiskey.
a round of applause to
Yes.
our camera guys. God bless you.
Show, ladies and gents.
All right, now give me some of that.